Today, we're taking a look at illusions we don't need. It's by Ernie Vecchio, who, well, he's a trauma psychologist.
Yeah, and his work kind of goes beyond traditional therapy.
Mm,
It delves into these deep-seated beliefs we hold, these illusions that might actually be preventing us from living a fulfilling life.
right, exactly. And Vecchio, he doesn't just point these illusions out, he offers, practical ways to sort of break free from them. So let's jump right in. The first illusion Vecchio talks about is the illusion of immortality.
Yeah, and this one, it's not about literally believing we'll live forever.
No, definitely not.
It's more about how this belief, this unconscious assumption of endless time, impacts our actions, or rather our inaction. We put things off thinking, oh, I've got plenty of time for that.
I'm totally guilty of that. Always thinking I have more time than I do.
We all are, to some extent. And that's the danger of this illusion. It makes us passive in our own lives, always waiting for someday, instead of embracing the present moment.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Like, if we were truly aware of our limited time, wouldn't we make different choices?
Absolutely. We'd probably prioritize things differently. We'd focus on what truly matters, mend broken relationships, pursue our passions, savor the simple joys of life.
It reminds me of that Stoic philosophy, the memento mori. Remembering death not to be morbid, but to actually live more fully.
Exactly. It's about using that awareness of our mortality as fuel for living a meaningful life.
Okay, so that's the illusion of immortality. What's the next illusion Vecchio tackles?
Well, next up is the illusion of external validation. This one is particularly relevant in today's world with social media and all.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like we're constantly seeking approval from others, measuring our worth by likes and comments.
Yeah, and Vecchio points out how this constant need for external validation can lead to, anxiety, insecurity, and even a sense of emptiness. Because true self-worth, it can't come from outside sources.
So how do we break free from this cycle of seeking validation from others? Vecchio talks about this thing called the inner observer. Can you elaborate on that a bit? What is the inner observer and how do we cultivate it?
The inner observer, it's like this wise, non-judgmental part of ourselves that can observe our thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them.
So it's like stepping back and becoming aware of our own internal dialogue, right?
Exactly. And we can cultivate this inner observer through mindfulness practices like meditation or journaling, anything that helps us create space to listen to our own inner voice, to connect with our true selves.
I can see how that would be helpful. Because I know, for me, I used to be such a people pleaser, always worried about what others thought. But learning to tune into my own inner voice, my own values, has been incredibly liberating.
It is liberating, isn't it? It's about reclaiming our power, recognizing that our worth is inherent, not dependent on external approval.
Okay, so we've got the illusion of immortality, the illusion of external validation. What's next? What other illusion does Vecchio want us to shed?
The next one he discusses is the illusion of perfect relationships. And I think this one ties in beautifully with the previous illusion we discussed.
Because if we're constantly seeking validation from others, we're probably going to bring that neediness into our relationships, right?
Exactly. And that can create a lot of pressure and unrealistic expectations. Vecchio, he emphasizes the importance of cultivating love and understanding within ourselves first before seeking it from others.
That makes sense. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? You have to fill your own cup first.
Right. And self-compassion is key here. It's about accepting our own imperfections and extending that same grace to others. Because when we can accept ourselves as we are, flaws and all, we're more capable of accepting others as they are too.
So instead of looking for that perfect partner who will complete us, it's about embracing the messiness of real relationships and seeing them as opportunities for growth.
Yes, exactly. It's about viewing relationships as mirrors for self-discovery.
And how about the last illusion? What's the final illusion that Vecchio challenges us to let go of?
The final one is the illusion of constant happiness. That idea that we should always be happy, that life should be this constant stream of positive experiences.
It's like that Instagram perfect life everyone seems to be chasing.
Exactly. And Vecchio, he reminds us that life is full of ups and downs. There will be challenges, there will be sadness, there will be pain. And that's okay. It's all part of the human experience.
So instead of resisting those difficult emotions, it's about learning to find meaning and purpose in those moments too.
Right.
And this is where his concept of intentional evolution comes in, right?
Yes, exactly. Intentional evolution, it's about recognizing that growth doesn't always feel good. It often emerges from those challenging experiences, from the setbacks and the heartbreaks.
So it's not about seeking constant happiness, but about embracing the full spectrum of human experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's a really powerful line in Vecchio's book that stuck with me. He says, "These illusions aren't necessary for flourishing. They're barriers to a more humane, fulfilled existence."
That's such a powerful quote. It's like a call to action, to wake up and shed those limiting beliefs that are holding us back.
So we've explored these 4 common illusions.
Yep.
Immortality, external validation, perfect relationships, and constant happiness. And we've seen how letting go of these illusions, embracing truth, self-compassion, and the present moment can lead to a more meaningful, more authentic life. And you know what? If you're ready to start challenging these illusions, I have a little experiment for you to try.
Ooh, I love experiments. What is it?
Well, next time you feel that need for external validation, for someone else's approval, pause for a moment and just take a breath and tune into your inner observer, that wise voice within you, and ask yourself, what does my inner voice say?
It's such a simple practice, but I can see how it would be so powerful. Just that shift in focus from external to internal.
Exactly. And if you want to dive deeper into these ideas, I highly encourage you to check out Ernie Vecchio's work. It's really thought-provoking stuff.
Definitely worth exploring.